Hello, and welcome to... You get a pop and a double hello today. I think I'd normally do a double hello. Anyway, welcome to episode 6 of LitFilmFest Classrooms Does Ancient Sports Academy, where we teach you how to resurrect an ancient sport and bring it back to life by creating a video to show people how to play it. In the next 5 lessons, we are going to be showing you how to write instructions to create your own sports club. Anyway, enough from me. You don't want to hear about it from me. Over to you, young and old Wimpole, to tell us more. Wow, you're still alive? Well done for surviving till week 2. We know the past can be a dangerous place.
Yes, but it's boring though, isn't it? We're not doing anything here. We're just sitting here doing this stuff. And now they've done this video with all the instructions and all that. Well, what's the next step? Let's get on with it. Get on with it.
Why? It's to create your own sports club, of course.
Club? I'll tell you about a club. I was champion of the 65 Morris dancers. Yes, I was, with Caldecott and Barbara Bonson and Piggy Larkin, of course. Yes, we were the flying cygnets, they called us. We used to fly through the air with the greatest ease.
Okay. Clubs are so important because they get people interested in the sport in the first place. Professional trainers can then teach how to play the sport so people play it properly. Many sports are constantly being added to the Olympics. Recently, baseball, karate, skateboarding, climbing and surfing have all been added because enough people wanted to play and compete in them. Maybe it's time for your historical sport to return. Your job this week is to take your ancient sport that you've been learning about and drag it back into this century so people can start playing it again. You'll do this by creating the next part of your instruction video, how to set up a sports club. Isn't that right, old Wimpole?
Yes, and as I stood there with my gold medal in hand, looking out across my adoring fans across the arena, and suddenly a face in the crowd, our eyes met, and that's the story of how I met your great aunt Petunia.
Did that really happen?
To be quite honest, I don't know.
Thank you, old Wimpole. That was really interesting. I'm sure you'll all agree. So it's time now to do a brainstorm. I'd like you to jot notes down about sports clubs so you know what you're going to be writing about. These are the 3 questions that I'd like you to think about. What sports clubs do you or your friends attend? What was needed to set up the club? So maybe you've got some paperwork from your sports club inviting you to come. Or maybe you can think about what information you needed to know in order to actually join. And how would you start to set up a sports club? What would you need to do first in order to get a sports club going? So that is your first mini challenge for today. Just answer those simple questions. And then what we got is some terribly naughty instructions. I'll send them to bed with too much supper later. So these instructions that we're about to share with you have become all mixed up. It's your job to now sort them out. And you can download the instructions on the link below to check them out. Hopefully there's also some really interesting phrases there as well. So have a think through as we go through this and think about which words and phrases you like, because you can borrow them to be included in your own writing. So you should have now ordered those instructions. What do you think should have gone where and why? What features did you know to look for that you think helped? Was there anything new that really popped out at you? And how do you actually know that these instructions are now in order? Next mini challenge for today is to compare the instructions that you had from last week. Because these instructions are more advanced actually, they're more difficult to read and to write, but they also give you a lot more information. So what's the same as the instructions, say from the folding a t-shirt in 2.5 seconds, or how to play the chopstick challenge, but what's different? How are these instructions of setting up a club a bit more advanced? That's your second mini challenge for today, which you can do after the lesson. I'll put that slide up at the end so you can see it. After you have done that, it's finally time to start planning your sports club. So when all lockdown's finished, you can actually get going and get a group of friends together to play a crazy ancient sports game, which would be pretty cool. So writing down your ideas, jotting down all your ideas now will help you get ready to actually start writing your instructions out in the next lesson. And I really want you to think about these two areas. So in your planning, I want you to think about your ideas for what is needed to set up an ancient sports club and what might need explaining in detail. And also, again, use a rhetorical question to use in your introduction. It's a really powerful type of question. Think about the different areas that we've already looked at in today's lesson. If you're feeling confident in how instructions can be laid out, particularly advanced instructions, if you're feeling a bit of a clever clogs, then don't watch the very end of this lesson, because I'm actually going to go through all of those areas, just so everyone's clear with what they're doing. Or what you can do is actually get writing down all your ideas and then watch the end of the lesson. And then finally, we want to see your notes. We'd love to share and celebrate them, so please send them into us. info@litfilmfest.com, on our email, at Twitter, not at Twitter. Oh yeah, or you can at Twitter. Tell them about it as well, why not? Or you can at LitFilmFest on Twitter, or on the old email for Old Wimpole, info@litfilmfest.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna go. I'm going to just stare at this flame. Or shall I stand up? Shall I stand up and my flame will just go in front of it and then we'll fade out with that. Is that okay? Ready? Oh, no, flame there. Hang on. Ready? I've got to go a bit closer. Ready? Namaste and welcome to the end of the video. Right, let's go through those different sections that if you're not feeling confident or you want to just check your work to make sure that you've written notes on all of your instructions, you're in the right place. So just looking back at those mixed up instructions, did you sort those all out? Because they'll help you to write out your instructions in the right way. So the first thing you need is the title, nice and big. Setting up a club would be what you'd have at the very top, of course. Then underneath we'd put how to start a sports club, because that's the introduction really. It wouldn't say introduction, because that would be a bit on the nose, and that means just a bit obvious. It's actually a better thing to say how to start a sports club, because it tells you exactly what it is rather than just generic introduction. So after how to start a sports club, then I would include the what you will need section, because then you can start explaining each one of those, what you need, bullet points in a paragraph or section each. And then after that, you need the most important piece of information. I'd suggest that would be the players, because you need to actually source those first. You need to get those players first. So I'd say that would be the first thing that I'd want my readers to understand, is how to get these players. But also, you could argue the ground is also really important as well. So either one of those could go first. I'd go players, then ground. Some of you might disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. Once you've got the players and the ground, then I'd say you probably need the coach, because the coach is going to be the person who actually trains and hones the skills of your players so they are ready to fight Pockletok to the death, or not, or ready to play ping pong to the death. Maybe that was an ancient sport that actually ended up with half the team being sacrificed, who knows. Anyway, yeah, the coach is a really important person in that, so I'd want to include that section next. So once you've got your coach who trains your team, then finally you need opponents as well to play against. And finally I'd put the conclusion, because it sums it all up very nicely in saying that it's a rewarding job to start a sports club, and that's the kind of push to make people want to be involved. And also I'd put the remember section probably last, but that could go part way up. It's a matter of choice where you want to do that, and also where sometimes it just looks nice. But I would put that at the end because it is a side point just at the end, but some of you might even have put it part way up the page actually to make it look very pleasant, and it breaks up all the instructions quite nicely then, having a top tip partway through. You even see that in newsletters sometimes, where they have a huge quote in the middle of the page, because then it's not just a huge wall of text where you go, oh, this is such a long news article. It actually breaks it up quite nicely. That's it for the secret content. See ya!